Hey everyone, welcome back. Johnny B here with devslopes.com, and in this lesson we are going to refine our login logic as well as some other stuff having to do with selecting a channel. And this lesson is kind of mostly getting ready to work with messages, so it might be a little bit all over the place, but I'll try to make it as clear as possible. We just got a lot of little things that we need to fix up before we're ready to continue getting messages. All right, so we're going to start out here in the channel VC, and here in the add channel pressed, first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a check to say that we can only add a channel if we're already logged in. So I'm going to say if auth service.instance.is logged in, then we are able to show that modal. So I'm going to cut that and paste that right in here. And then another thing that I noticed was that when we are logged in and then we log out, the channels, they stay there. All right, so we need those channels to disappear after we log out. So we're going to come over to our message service.swift file, and we're going to create a function to do that. So I'm going to quickly, just real quick, clean up this function a little bit. All right, that looks good. I'm going to say func clear channels, and that's just channels dot remove all. All right, so that's just clearing out our array of channels that we have here. And while we're in here, another variable that we're going to need later is we're going to have a variable for the selected channel. So whichever channel that we have currently selected, we're going to store that here. So I'm going to say selected channel, but that's going to be an optional because if we're not logged in, then obviously we don't have a selected channel. So we're going to say channel and question mark for optional. All right, so I'm going to save that. And let's test this, but first we have to put it in we have to call it somewhere. So in the user data service, when we log out, we are also going to call message service.instance.clear channels. All right, so I'm gonna save that. And then the last thing that we need to do is in our, let's see here, in our setup user info, which is called whenever the user data changes, we are going to say right here in the else table view dot reload data. All right, so the flow is we press log out, and that triggers a user data did change notification right here. And so when we click log out, we have set the is logged in bool to false. So this portion of the function will be called, and we will, at that point, the channels array will be empty. So when we reload the table view, then it'll reload with all empty. All right, so let's go ahead and run this just to test it. I'm going to run it on an iPhone 6s and say run. Alrighty, so I'm going to come over here. We have all of our channels here. Then I'm going to log out, and boom, they are gone. All right, so let's continue on. The next thing that we're going to do is kind of refine our login process. So when we first launch, and this is called, if we're logged in, then we do the find user by email and post a user data did change. So right now we're calling our find all channel right here, but that's not where we actually want it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a function for the user data did change. But first we need to have an observer for it. All right, so we're going to say notification center dot default dot add observer, and let's see, so this guy right here, the observer is self, the selector is that we haven't created it yet, but I can actually just copy the one from channel VC just to save us some time right here. User data did change, so I'm gonna come back here and paste that right here. All right, so the selector is hashtag selector, and then chat vc dot user data did change, and we don't have this function, so that's fine. And then the name of the notification is notif underscore user data did change. The object is nil. Okay, so going through the flow again, we launched the app from a fresh start, but we had previously logged in. So we use our find user by email function to get our information for our user. Then we post the note if user data did change. This will be detected here in chat VC by this observer, as well as in the channel VC by its observer. And then here in the, so then we need to decide what we want to have happen in the chat VC when a user's data changes, okay? So we're gonna do a check. We're gonna say if auth service.instance.is logged in, then we are going to say, this is where we're gonna get our get channels, which we'll figure out in just a second. Else, if no one is logged in, then we're gonna change our channel label to say, please log in. And I don't think we actually have an IB outlet for that yet. So I'm gonna say, hold down Option and click on main.storyboard. And come down here and grab this outlet this guy right here and go Control, drag, and just drop you right here. And we're gonna call this channel name label. I'm gonna say connect, and go back. And so here we're gonna say channel name label dot text is equal to please log in. Okay. So after we log out, if we went back to the main chat VC, at the top it'll say please log in. All right, so now let's get the channels here. Actually, I think we're gonna put this inside of another function down here. So we're gonna say func on login get messages. So right when we log in, this function is going to be called, and we're gonna say message service.instance.get, or is it find all channel completion success. And right now we're not doing anything after the channels are gotten, but just in preparation, we'll say if success, and then we'll say do stuff with channels. All right, so we're gonna save that and then call that right here. So this is on login get messages. There we go. Whoops, just clean this up a bit. All right, so let's go ahead and see if what we've done so far is working out. We haven't done a whole lot, just kind of laid down some boilerplate code. I think the one thing that will show is we should be able to still see our channels when we log in. So I'm gonna say e@e.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'll notice that when we logged in from here without having already been logged in, the channels aren't showing up. And the reason for that is that the channel view doesn't know that the channels have been loaded, and so it doesn't know to reload the data. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a notification that will be called from message service.swift that will let the channel view controller know, hey, I just pulled down all these channels, so go ahead and upload or reload your table and display them. All right, so that's going to be right here in place of this print statement. We're going to need to create a new notification. So I'm going to open up Constance. Where are you at? Right here. Okay, and I'm just going to copy this notification name, paste it, and we're going to say channels loaded, and then change the name to channels loaded. All right, so now we've created the notification name. Now let's go ahead and create the post and the observers for it. So the post is going to be in message service.swift here. So we're going to say notification center.default.post. We want this one right here. The name is notif underscore channels loaded. The object is nil. Okay, so after all of the channels have been retrieved from the API, we're going to shoot off this notification that's ready to go. All right, and then in channel VC, let's see here down here, we need to add an observer. So I'm going to say notification. Well, let's create our selector function first. I think that's the better way to go about this. All right, so we got at Objective-C func, and call this channels loaded, and the same as this guy right up here. Let's say underscore notif, and then notification. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to reload our table views data. So we're going to say table view.reload data. All right, so now let's create our observer. We're going to say notification center.default.add observer. The observer is self. The selector is hashtag selector, and then it's channel vc dot channels loaded. That's our function, and the name is notif underscore channels loaded. The object is nil. All right, I'm gonna save that and clean up a little bit our spacing. And just to go over the flow one more time, in message service.swift, after the channels are retrieved, we shoot this notification. Channel VC observes that notification and calls this channel right here, channels loaded, which simply reloads the table view data. All right, so I'm going to save that and run it. Alrighty, so we need to test it from a fresh login. So I'm going to log out and then log in. And so we're going to have e@e.com 1 2 3 4 5 6 login, and there we go. So now the channels are showing up from our very own login. All right, so that looks good. Alrighty, the next thing that I want to do is actually have the chat view update some of its information based on which channel we select. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to use a notification for that as well. So jump into constants, and we're going to create a new notification name. I'm going to just copy that and say notif underscore channel selected. Okay, and over here I'm going to say channel selected. All right, I'm going to save that. And we're going to be doing our work here is mostly in, well, I guess it's in both channel VC and chat VC. But first off, in channel VC, we're going to create the function, or we're going to utilize the built-in table view method for selecting a table view item. So we're going to say did select, and that will pull up our function that we need, did select row at. Okay, so what are we doing? When we select a row, we are going to save the selected channel into our message service variable selected channel. Then we're going to notify the chat VC that we have selected a channel, and then we want to dismiss, or we want to close the menu, have the chat VC slide back over. All right, so pretty simple. We're going to say let channel equal, we're going to say message service.instance.channels, and we're going to grab the channel that corresponds to the one that we select, so index path.row. Okay, so now we have our selected channel, and we're going to set that equal to the message service.instance.selected channel is equal to that channel. And then we're going to say notification center. We're going to shoot off our notification that the channel has been selected that we just created. So we're going to say default.post, and this is the one we want. We're going to post a notification with the name notif channel selected, object is nil. All right, so again, we create the channel based on which one we select, set that equal to the selected channel, and shoot off our notification that we have indeed selected a channel. All right, and now what we're gonna do is make the menu slide back in place. And that's also pretty easy. All we gotta do is say self.reveal view controller, and then say .reveal toggle, and we want this one here, animated with a bool. So we're gonna say reveal toggle animated true. So we're just saying, we're just accessing our reveal view controller, and we're calling this function reveal toggle, which is what we use to slide back and forth the menu. All right, so that looks good. I'm gonna save that, and let's test that, just that so far. Alrighty, so all we're doing here is we're just testing that when we select a, yeah, there we go, that when we select an item, the menu closes. Cool. Alright, so let's stop that, jump into ChatVC. So now we are shooting out a notification that we have selected a channel, so we need to add an observer for it so that we can listen for that notification. I'm going to say notification center.default.add observer, and the observer is self. The selector, let's go ahead and create that. So here we're going to say at objective C, then we say func channel selected and underscore notif, and that's of type notification. There we go. And then we're going to do something. We'll work with that in just a second. But our selector, we're going to say selector is chatvc dot channel selected. The name of the notification that we are listening for is notif channel selected, and the object is nil. All right, so there we go. I'm going to save that. And what do we want to have happen when we select the channel? Well, we're going to call another function called update with channel. Okay. And the reason we have some of these, you may be wondering, like, why don't we just put whatever we're going to put right here? The reason for that is that we're going to be calling some of these functions in multiple places. So I'm just pre-optimizing for that. All right. Okay, so here I'm going to say update with channel. And what are we going to do here in the update with channel? Well, right now we don't have a whole ton to do. All that I really want to do is make it so that when we select a channel, that we update this right here, this label, to be the name of the channel. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to say let channel name. We have to unwrap our channel name from the message service.instance.selected channel. So we're going to say message service.instance.selected channel dot channel title, and then we're going to use our coalescing nil. So if it can't find a non-optional string, then just set it equal to an empty string. And then we're going to say channel name label dot text is equal to, we're going to do our hashtag and then string interpolate channel name. All right, so I'm going to save that, and let's run that and see if that works. Alrighty, so let's check this out. I'm going to click on General, Dismisses, and hey, there we go. Updates our channel label right here. So yeah, alright. Now we're really starting to look like a chat app, huh? So good. Alright. Gonna add a new channel, and we're going to call this water cooler. Create the channel. Boom, it sets up. We can add that. Alright. We're looking real good. All right, so yeah, this was kind of just a whole lot of logic and setting up some functions that we're going to be using here in the next several lessons. But yeah, still some pretty cool stuff. We're updating. We're using notifications to let different view controllers know what's going on and stuff. So yeah, some pretty fun stuff. And yeah, I'm just gonna finish up by adding and committing our changes, and then I'll see you guys all in the next one.